Good morning. It is October 5th, 2023 on a Thursday. And this is Windows Daily Helpline number 303, where myself and the chat room stand ready to answer your questions regarding Windows computers. And you can leave messages. You can ask questions by sending me an email at this email address, or leave a comment on any of my videos, or ask a question in the chat room. So I've got a couple minor things to hit up today, and then there's a question in the chat room already, but it's not about Windows. Here's a comment on the channel. Thank you so much for this from a video, how to fix Gmail reverse conversation order. Give a thumbs up and a heart to that person. And then this somebody put in a link in the chat, I think it was yesterday, regarding this Windows N's installation path for free Windows 7 upgrade. We talked about this on Saturday, and I saw this first, I think, on the Saturday show, and I thought it was worded confusingly, and I'm understanding now what they meant, so I thought it's worth going back and looking at this. Windows N's installation path for free Windows 7/8 upgrade. You think, what in the world are they showing this, producing this now? This was dated September 20th, 2023. And then in here it says Microsoft free upgrade for offer for Windows 10 11 ended July 29th, 2016. When I saw this on Saturday, I thought, what? Windows 11 didn't even exist in 2016. Why is this message coming up? It sounds like they're saying, now that it is July 29th, 2016, Microsoft is ending the free upgrade offer. So that was what? Weird. But now I'm understanding what they meant. It's just not a good communication technique. The installation path to obtain Windows 7/8 free upgrade. Well, here they're saying upgrade to Windows 7/8. That sounds like an upgrade to Windows 7/8. Of course, that's not what they mean. Is now removed as well. So the free upgrade offer for going from Windows 7 or 8 to Windows 10 or 11, since they kind of was the same upgrade path, they ended the free upgrade offer, but the installation path was still available. See, I didn't understand when I first read this. Here they're talking about the ending of the upgrade offer. Here they're talking about the ending of the installation path, because we did notice that we were still able to upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 8, but technically that was not an offer by Microsoft, although the installation path still worked. This is just really worded badly. So we understand now that if you have Windows 7 or 8, you can no longer accomplish an upgrade to Windows 10, according to the documentation. I'm not sure if anyone's reported having tried that. And because this is past tense, that was September 20th. The installation path is removed. It's no longer present. Has anyone actually confirmed that? Does it no longer work? I wouldn't be surprised if it still works, because they're just not very good with what they announce and what they actually do. Okay, so that's all I had queued up to talk about. Let's go look at chat. Rick Lakes, good morning. Grandpa Doug learns Fortnite, good morning to you. Alice, good morning. Oops, I was on the wrong account. I started responding to people on the wrong account. Chris Garrett got a laugh out of that. Brian Lightfoot, what did Tennessee? The same thing, Arkansas. Good one. I did not pre-read that, but I read it correctly on first read. John Williams, good morning. And hello to everyone in chat. The last couple of days, my phone has stopped receiving notifications for all subscriptions. Don't know why. Bummed. And I asked if that's iPhone or Android, and he responds with it's Android. And the reason why I asked on that is because I did some poking around on my iPhone yesterday to figure out something, because there's this thing about different modes: do not disturb, and personal, and work, and sleep. Is that, no, that's not going to autofocus because I don't have autofocus turned on. Never mind. But anyway, I went to look into those deeper to see how they were configured, and I realized that it's a little bit odd how those are configured, and there were certain notifications that I was not receiving when I was on certain modes, and so I switched it around to be the way that I want it. So that's about the only thing that I have to say there, John Williams, since it's not a Windows subject, but we do talk about other things time to time, is go look at what mode your phone is set in. Is it on some level of privacy mode that is stopping notifications from happening? And if you drill down into the configuration of the YouTube app, look in there for how notifications are configured for the app, look how notifications are configured for your phone, and look for how notifications are configured for the mode, the privacy mode that your phone is operating in. And I'm not sure if those are the right terms, but that's kind of what I'm getting at there is a broader idea of how to look at it. Then the other thing is go check on your computer YouTube screen, look up here on your notifications and make sure that your notifications are coming through in this list for your computer, because that's going to be a reflection of how your YouTube account and your Google account is configured for notifications. So if you find that you're not getting notifications either there, then that means go look at your YouTube configuration and your Google configuration for notifications. Now, if it was just your browser, you also want to look for your browser notifications configuration, because notifications has several different places to be configured. Martin Hogg, hello to all yous. I think I interpreted that right. Good morning to y'alls. Android for the phone. Seldom Ball with the weather report. People saying hellos to each other's. Zavi Menor, Jeff Ryman, Rick Leitch, Brian Lightfoot. Doug, interestingly enough, I'm in the middle of updating a Windows 7 machine to Windows 10, and that license key stuff is what I'm exploring soon. Good. Yeah, let us know if it's supposed to not work anymore, because that's what they're telling us, is they turned it off so it won't function anymore. I'm not going to be at all surprised if you find that it is still working. Mike Wojcik, hello. I say soon because I keep stumbling into things. So he's in the middle of updating. License key stuff is what I'm exploring soon. So in the middle of updating, haven't got to the point yet of updating to get to the license key. I don't know, how long does that take? Keep stumbling into things. That brings up the subject of Macrium. Last night I wanted to try Macrium Rescue USB disk. I created one in Macrium, and guess what? It does not work. Well, it says no operating system. So I'm expecting that is you created. Let's go bring up Macrium Reflect. Do you have secure boot turned on? I'm not totally sure whether that would interfere with it or not. But other tasks, create rescue media. You came into here to create rescue media and chose, let's see, prompt check devices missing, rescue media settings, select device, Windows boot. Oh, it's once I don't have a USB plugged in. So it's letting me create a file or add to the Windows boot menu so that when I restart the computer, it would be on my boot menu. If you have a thumb drive plugged in, it should show up in here. So anyway, you went through this advanced build, custom WIM, no, IP address. I'm just contemplating what is it that you might have missed. There's all these different choices you could make, but you're getting a message, no boot media. Sounds like either it wasn't successful in creating the bootable USB thumb drive, or possibly if there's something about security settings on your computer that's preventing from booting. Now that's interesting. It should have loaded Windows pre-installation environment along with their software. That's correct. And I think you can also, I think you can choose something other than the Windows pre-installation environment. Don't they have another choice? Let's see, advanced, choose base Wim. Different Windows PE environments, but those are all Windows PE. I think there's a way to add it to some other operating system other than Windows. I'm not sure about that. It sounds vaguely familiar. Sin Vicious, hello. Ran Israel, hello. It's 904. Scroll back to 904. Lawn Dog, that did not happen, so I've been putting my head in a rabbit hole the last 10 hours. Why is this happening? This never happened with Acronis. Recovery Media was just created and worked. Well, you don't know that it's because of Macrim Reflect. If there's something not happening right between your computer and the thumb drive, then that could be totally independent of Macrim Reflect. And of course, what is the process? You could take some screenshots or some photos with your cell phone during the process that you're making the thumb drive and try it again, and then send your photos to me and we can have a look at that. That could be interesting. Also, how about when you're in Windows and looking in using File Explorer to look at the thumb drive and show us what files are there, and then I could show you what files are on my thumb drive. Anyways, that's not important. What is important is figuring out why I cannot create a USB bootable repair tool. Try some other USB bootable. Create some other USB bootable to that thumb drive and see if that works. And I'm also very curious to ask those that are using Macrim, did you create a tool to boot from, and is it working? Yes, I've created a USB bootable multiple times, and it's always worked for me. The problems that I have had is with the computer that I'm working on, getting it to boot from the thumb drive. Chris says his works. Chris doesn't like getting notifications. Yeah, some feel like a nut, some don't. Okay, you have the paid version or the free version. Okay, do you have the paid version? So I'm suspecting that is a question to, oh, Lawn Dog. Oh, he's asking me, I suppose. I have the paid version. And it seems to me one of those, no, I think free version will do a thumb drive and will do a boot. I know the free version will make a bootable partition on your hard drive because I've done that remotely with clients. Will the free version create a bootable thumb drive? I'm sure it will. The free upgrade from 7.8 to 10 was supposed to end 2016. Yeah, they're technically it was no longer free, but it still worked. I think they've been more than generous about this. Absolutely, Jim. Speedy C, hello. Did you try again? Martin Hogg, Doug, you're upsetting my ALEXA because I've changed my wake word from to, all right. I have contemplated changing my trigger word for my Amazon Echo device to something else, but I did not. I was not going to choose that word. And if your hardware came with 7 or 8, it's due to be replaced anyway. Certainly. I've tried many times, Chris Garrett. Well, a few times with the USB device. I've tried many times, well, a few times with the USB device. Was it the same USB device? Have you tried a different USB device? Tried a different port? I also was going to make a DVD CD from an ISO. I have the file, I just haven't created the CD. I have hopefully configured everything for the USB bootable rescue device. I tinkered with that. You shouldn't have to do many adjustments. Yeah, I've never done any adjustments. I went in and showed you those advanced adjustments, but I don't think I've done those. I've used Windows recovery environment. A 3.0 flash drive would be faster than a DVD, certainly. I think the only reason you would want to use a DVD is if you have a computer that is so ancient that it won't boot from a USB. I think even a USB 2.0 would be faster than a DVD. Of course, there's different speed DVD drives too. There was a recommendation from Macrium about Windows 7 and above to use the RE stopped. RE stopped? RE recovery environment stopped? I don't understand that. Ran Israel. Cronus lets you choose between Linux, WinPE, Live Media, but even they state that the Linux version is not recommended. Seems to me that I was going to say that Macrium Reflect had a Linux option, but I didn't see it there when we were in there. But then I didn't have a thumb drive inserted. Might have made a difference. But I thought there was a Linux option. Brian Lightfoot, no Ken last night. Yeah, Ken didn't have a show last night, apparently. I have Mac Ref USB rescue drives. Macintosh USB rescue drives working. Oh, Macrium Reflect. Jeez. Doug, we're talking about Macrium Reflect. Can't you recognize that abbreviation? Jeez, such a Doug. I have Macrium Reflect USB rescue drives working for 3 computers, including an older i5 first generation Acer dual screen laptop. Now, I think I have found some computers refusing to boot off of a Macrium Reflect thumb drive that works on other computers. I think. Can't swear to that one. But that might be something going on. You could try booting some other computer with that thumb drive, see if it works. I've used the standalone Macrium free backup USB tool, but never used their repair tool. I have tried the repair tool on a few occasions when a computer wouldn't boot after restoring an image. I was asking Chris Garrett if he was using the paid version or free version. Okay, that question was to Chris, not me. Brian to Rick, I believe he was under the weather. I see he has nothing scheduled for today. Yes, he does have something scheduled today, but that can change at any moment. Or is he scheduled for a different day? He's got something scheduled. If I come over here to Ken Stout, he's got, 8 hours, 6 p.m. tonight. He has his evening show scheduled. Rand created bootable media from the free version. Okay, so that is definitely confirmed. Long Dog Doug, I went so far as to install Macrium, the free version, on the actual Windows 7 machine and created the rescue thumb drive. Interesting. Macrium Reflect installed on a Windows 7 computer. That Macrium Reflect version you're using would have been created for Windows 10. Since Windows 7 is no longer supported, I wonder if that would work. I miss Windows 7 from Alice. Lawn Dog, my thinking was there might be some files which are indicated in some of the messages in Macrium that it might mean certain files from the original operating system, which is weird. So were there messages in Macrium about files that were missing when you're creating the thumb drive or when you're trying to boot from it, which are indicated in some of the messages? What messages are you referring to? Were you getting error messages? But there's a couple of statements about that in the pop-up help messages. Anyways, that didn't work. That is something I was thinking about trying, was a different USB device, but I don't put a lot of faith in that because the thumb drive I'm using, I've used many times. Parts go bad. devices go bad. Or maybe it wasn't, maybe it's not permanently bad. Maybe it just needs to be redone. Maybe you need to do a F-disk wipe of that drive and refresh it. Um, if you've used that thumb drive many times, have you recreated a bootable image on it many times? Maybe it needs to be cleaned with F-disk. I don't know if that's a thing, just a suggestion. For bootable devices, including Windows, let's see. I've used many times for bootable devices, including Windows Media Installation. Yeah, so you've created many bootable images. Maybe it needs a clean wipe. John, less than a month ago, I used Windows 7 product key to activate a Windows 10 install. Yeah, what was the date of that message? Yeah, so that was just a couple weeks ago that message came out. So a month ago, that's not going to be any form of confirmation for us, but thank you for that. The computer's not ancient per se. It has all the full capabilities, USB 3.0. Sorry about the word stop. When you choose in Macrium the addition for PE environment, I chose the R recovery environment, which is recommended. Okay. Size of thumb drive can be a problem as well. If it's larger than 16 or 32, it won't see it. Yeah, there you go. There's also seems to be some kind of issues between USB 2 and USB 3. If you've got a 3.0 USB thumb drive and you're trying to boot it into 2.0 or vice versa, I've seen issues along those lines, but did not drill down to try to figure out what is going on or when it's an issue, or is it only a sometimes thing? Because it will work UEFI, MBR legacy booting. Let's see. Oh, I chose the RE environment, which is recommended because it will work for UEFI or MBR legacy booting. Okay, that sounds like a good choice, which this machine probably qualifies for legacy booting. Oh, also in the boot menu, there might be an option to allow legacy devices. There might be an option to allow it to boot from a USB device. Perhaps in security settings. So go poke around in BIOS setup for security settings and USB configurations. If you have any other kind of USB bootable device, a Windows installation USB bootable, try booting the computer on that, even though you're not going to install that operating system, but just to see if it will boot on a USB thumb drive for anything. But what's interesting about UEFI on older machines is Windows will install UEFI on older machines automatically during the installation. Whoa, what? But what's interesting about UEFI and older machines is Windows will install UEFI on older machines automatically during the installation. I think that would only be if the BIOS of that computer supports UEFI. I don't think Windows can possibly install a UEFI mode on a computer with a BIOS that is only legacy. If the computer only has legacy, when you go in the BIOS setup, it's not going to mention legacy because it's not aware of the existence of UEFI. But you can make a settings change in BIOS on many machines to allow only UEFI, to not allow legacy operating systems to boot. Zvi Talondog, same as Hiren Boot CD, but better create USB boot. Sergey Strelick is included Macrium Reflect. Okay, let's see what that link is. I'm not understanding some of those words. Sergey Strelick, okay, that is a poison. Windows PE, bootable desk. So this looks like it's for creating a bootable Windows PE, nothing to do with Mac Room Reflect, just the Windows pre-installation environment. CD. Is this specifically for CDs? Let's change this from Russian to English. Bootable disk. I'll spend some more time with that after the show. Same as I'm thinking Hiren is some other boot CD capability that I don't recognize the name. Danielle Limberly, I ran into a problem with Synology Active Backup for Business Rescue Drive. Works for new PCs, but will not for the older i5 first gen computer. Yeah, i5 first gen, that's pretty old. Synology Active Backup for Business Rescue Drive. Okay, I have not done anything with Synology. Synology Active Backup for Business Rescue Drive, using that on a computer, not on a actual Synology device. Works for new PCs, will not work for older first gen. And it's a rescue drive. That maybe the rescue drive was made with a UEFI support. Maybe when you create that rescue drive, you'd have to include for legacy computers. If I'm guessing that i5 first gen may not have UEFI. Seldom Ball, I seem to recall that Macrium provides the option of creating either an MBR or UEFI style bootable USB. Yes, I believe that's correct. Might the use of UEFI USB be the problem under Windows 7 on that particular computer? Yes, and that's probably worded better than what I was trying to say, because I was thinking if that thumb drive was created for UEFI and not supporting legacy, that might be a reason why it's not working. Alice, Windows XP was the best though. Windows 98 was fun too. Boy, the jump from Windows 3.1 to Windows 95, that was fun times. Well, Doug, not easy to explain, but Macrium has some messages, the little pop-up flags. Take screenshots or take photos with your phone. Send them to me. That comment about the possibility of missing files for creating a proper booting file or something like that, which is weird, that should not be occurring. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Send pictures, please, please. Anyways, I gave it a try. Anyways, using the machine that I'm trying to back up the copy of Windows 7 on, and on that same machine, create the recovery tool. The recovery tool should work whether I'm using Windows 10 or any other operating system. It's a recovery option. I don't have any level of confidence on that. I do not count on things between different computers and different operating systems. They should work because they're recovery tools. I don't count on that at all. Brian Lightfoot misses Windows 7 as much as I miss dial telephones. I was thinking about that recently. How many computer technicians in the market today have never personally used a dial telephone, or even know what we mean by a dial telephone? I have sometimes I try to explain to a client over the phone when I'm asking them to check their Ethernet cable, and I tell them it's the one that has a jack on the end that looks like a telephone jack. How many of my clients that I'm talking to don't know what a telephone jack looks like? Many of them have office desk phones, but they've never plugged them in, and they don't have those types of phones at home. How would anybody under 30 years old, how would they know what that telephone jack looks like, the shape of it, and the little clip? I don't know. Are there any under 30s in the chat room that can tell us whether they know what a phone jack? Well, people around here know what an Ethernet jack looks like. So Acronis had no issues that I ever discovered. I would imagine the machine, and I would have my rescue CD DVD. This is from the past, and no matter how old the image was, even XP recovery disk always booted and did its job. Yeah, I feel this I feel this stab when somebody says, "Well, I never had that problem with Acronis, and I have a problem that problem with Mac and Reflect." And it's like you're driving your car down the road and you get a flat tire, and you realize, now wait a minute, I'm using that new auto repair shop. I never had that problem when I was using the other repair shop. Guilt by association is not causal. Dennis, my premiere is starting at 4 p.m. Wait a minute, didn't I put? I thought let me go see. Did I do? I kind of no, I don't have a redirect in there. So let's see. Dennis has two premieres. One starts earlier than the other. This one's 2 p.m. The other one is later than that, 2:30. So we'll go ahead and do a redirect for Dennis's 2 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. in Dennis time. Yeah, Doug, I thought about the difference between USB 2.0 and 3.0. I don't think that'll be an issue, but I may tinker with it. I have plenty of USB 2.0 drives. Oh, I jumped too far. Oh, I am over time now. I'm going to kind of scan through these without reading them out loud. Okay, so Lawn Dog, I look forward to hearing how that works out. Gary Weisenberger here's me in orange. I have used an acoustic modem on a party line in Kentucky. Oh, that would be fascinating. Now, if you've got an acoustic modem in a communication session and somebody else picks up the party line, does that interrupt your online session? That's a twist I haven't thought of. I will read through the rest of these comments after ending the show. Savi Menor, the Windows pre-installation environment in the link above includes a lot of tools for tech that running under Windows PE, and it will boot under legacy and UEFI modes. Yeah, that looked apparent, and that makes a lot of sense. And let's see, are these show hide text? So, oh wow, you've got a lot of, these aren't actual choices in here. Oh, the x86 image contains all of this stuff. Oh, backup and restore for Mac and Reflect and Acronis and all these other things. The image contains all the restore image for all these different things. Hard disk image contains backup and restore programs, contains, these look like software tools for hard drives. These look like diagnostic tools. So this is a technician's utility disk, and it looks like it's loading all of that stuff on a x86 image, x64 image, which is what most people are going to want to use. DOS programs. Is this one bootable disk includes all of that? Antivirus? Yeah, I will take a closer look at this. God, I mean, it's really not very often that I'm using my USB disk thumb drive at all. Lots of cool tools there, but it's just not part of my workflow. Dropped at 110 baud. CV, yes. All right, that's going to put the show to bed. Tomorrow's what? Friday. Yeah, normal time tomorrow for a show. And if you want to send a question for me to respond to during the show, you can send it to that email address. You can put a comment on any of my videos. You can ask a question in the chat room. Have a great day, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.